I'm going to show you how I turned £10,000 into £100,000 and kept it away from the tax man. Okay, so many of us are already saving money, or better, investing money every month or whenever we can, but only a handful of us are truly maximizing how best to grow that money so it continues to make more money. In essence, making money work for you. Let's fix that now. Hi, if you're new to this channel, here at Chubby Money, we are focused on maximizing your money through hundreds of tips and tricks we'll cover as the series grows. I have a background in mathematics, finance, and currently work in full time tech. And my goal is to share the knowledge I've gained over the past 10 plus years to help you reach your financial goals. Breaking it down. This is all about understanding powerful financial principles, long term investing, the magic of compounding that we've talked about before, and using government tools available to you. We'll explore the mechanics, the timeframes, and the mindset needed to achieve such a high goal, keeping it tax free. Let's cover the question everyone's asking. How can one possibly make this kind of profit and keep it away from the tax man? Here in the UK, you pay tax on any interest gained beyond certain limits. For example, a basic rate taxpayer pays tax on savings interest beyond the first £1,000. And if you make big profits selling investments, you can face capital gains tax. Further, if your investment pays dividends, that income could be taxed too. The key to the tax free part of this puzzle is in ISAs. We've covered in previous videos that ISAs are a special account available in the UK where you can hold investments. In the US, you have similar accounts like the Roth IRAs. So, if you're able to grow your £10,000 into £100,000 inside an ISA, that £90,000 profit would be entirely yours, tax free. This is a huge advantage that government gives us to encourage saving and investing. Without the ISA, a chunk of that profit could potentially go straight to HMRC or your local taxman. Stick around as later on this video, I'll go into how you can accelerate your journey to reach that 100k, aiming to multiply your investments by tenfold. Okay, so the ISA handles the tax-free part, but how do you actually turn 10k into 100k? That's a tenfold increase. This kind of growth doesn't happen overnight, and it certainly doesn't happen with money sitting around in savings account. This requires significant investment growth driven by two main things. One, choosing the right investments. To achieve high growth, you typically need to invest in assets with high growth potential. This often means things like individual company shares or stocks, or funds that focus on growth sectors like tech, smaller companies, or emerging economies. But it's important to remember that high potential growth almost comes with a higher risk and volatility. These investments can lose money just as quickly as they can gain it. There's no guarantees. Diversification, which means spreading your money around, is crucial to manage this risk, but it doesn't eliminate it. 2. The power of compounding. We talked about this eighth wonder in the last video. Growing from £10,000 to £100,000 relies heavily on compound returns. Your initial investment is growing, and then the return themselves generating more returns over a long period. It's the snowball effect in action. How long does 10 times growth really take? This is where reality hits home. Achieving a 10 times return isn't quick. It requires time and lots of it, but compounding to work its magic and ride out market fluctuations. Let's look at the average annual return rate you need to get £10,000 to £100,000 over different timelines, assuming that all returns are reinvested. Over 10 years, you'd need an average return of nearly 26% per year. This is possible, maybe with an extremely high risk concentrated bets, but highly unlikely and very risky for most people. Over 15 years, you need an average rate of return of about 16.6 per year. This is still very high, requiring significant risk and exceptional market performance. Over 20 years, you need an average return of about 12.2%. This starts to enter the realm of historical long term averages for stock market investing, but it still requires strong return and absolutely not guaranteed. Over 25 years, you need an average return of about 9.6% per year, getting closer to that long term historical averages for diversified equity portfolios. Okay, finally, over 30 years, you need an average return of roughly 8% per year. This is more in line with long term historical stock market averages, though again, past performance does not guarantee future results. What does this tell us? Achieving that 10 times growth is far more plausible over decades, not years. Anyone promising this kind of return quickly is likely selling snake oil or is encouraging dangerous gambling. Patience and long term view are essential. Most people don't just invest one lump sum and then stop. Many successful long term investors build their wealth by adding more money regularly, perhaps monthly or whenever they get paid. This strategy of continuous investing can dramatically change the picture. Adding regular contributions on top of your initial investment does two powerful things. One, it boosts your final pot. Adding more money means there is more capital working for you. Even small regular amounts can add up significantly over decades thanks to compounding working on those extra contributions too. Two, potentially reaching your goals faster. By adding more fuel to the fire, you don't need to rely solely on investment growth from the initial amount. Your regular contributions can help build that path faster, meaning that you could potentially reach your 100k target sooner than if you just invested the lump sum. Imagine you start with £10,000 and aim for that same 9.6% average annual return we discussed, which would take 10k about 25 years to reach 100k. What if you just added £100 every month? Instead of taking 25 years, our calculations suggest that you could potentially hit that 100k mark in around 17 to 18 years. That's potentially saving 7 or 8 years off the timeline. And if you keep going for the full 25 years, that initial 10k plus £100 per month could potentially go to over 220k. That's more than double the outcome from the lump sum alone, all thanks to adding the manageable £100 each month. Investing regularly also introduces something called pound cost averaging. When you invest the same amount each month, you automatically buy more investment units when prices are low and fewer units when prices are high. This can smooth out your purchase price over time, reducing the risk of investing all your money at market peak. It encourages discipline and removes the guesswork of trying to time the market. So while the initial £10,000 provides a great starting boost, consistently adding more money, even small amounts, is often the real key to accelerating your journey and building substantial wealth over the long term with your tax-free ISA. So why doesn't everyone do this? If it's theoretically possible over the long term, why isn't everybody doing it? 1. Risk aversion. Many people aren't comfortable with the level of risk needed, especially seeing investments drop in value during market downturns, which will happen. 2. Impatience. Decades is a long time. People want results faster and may give up way too soon. 3. Emotional decisions. Fear and greed drive many investment mistakes. Panicking and selling during a crash or chasing hot stocks at their peak can destroy long term returns. Discipline is hard. And 4, finally, not starting. Many people simply never start investing, perhaps due to fear, complexity, or thinking they don't have enough money. Let's visualize your journey with an example. Here, we'll have an initial investment and just hold. Firstly, you start off in year zero. Let's say you have £10,000 saved up and ready to invest. Of course, you build your emergency fund first. You open a stocks and share ISA next. Next, investment choice. You decide you have a long time horizon, let's say 20 years or more, and are comfortable with a higher risk for higher potential growth. So you invest that £10,000. Maybe you choose globally diversified equity index funds, or perhaps a couple of funds focusing on growth. Whatever you choose, it's crucial you diversify. 3. The middle years. This is between years 1 and 20 plus. You leave that investment alone. You invest all your dividends and any capital gains automatically within the ISA. The market booms and crashes. During crashes, you feel nervous, but remember the long term goal and stay invested. You avoid tinkering or trying to time the market. 4. The outcome. This is between years 20 and 30. After several decades of compounding and market growth, averaging perhaps that 8 to 12% per year, your initial £10,000 has potentially grown to that £100,000 or more. Because it was inside an ISA, the amount is yours tax free. This is simplified, of course. Real life involves fees, inflation considerations, and the constant temptation to change strategy, but it illustrates the purpose. Let's visualize your journey with a second example. This time, your initial investment plus regular top ups. So let's reinvest the hypothetical scenario, but this time you're at £100 per month. Starting off in year 1, you invest your £10,000 lump sum into a diversified stocks and shares ISA. You also set up direct debit to automatically invest in additional £100 each month. 2. Investment choice. Same as before, perhaps a diversified portfolio aligned with long term goals and risk tolerance. 3. The middle years. This time it's between years 1 and 18. You continue your £100 monthly investment automatically. You invest all your dividends and gains. Markets will go up and down. You experience maybe 1 or 2 significant downturns. It's tough. We stick to the plan, remembering your long term goal and the benefits of pound cost averaging during the dips. And finally, the outcome. This is between years 17 or 18 approximately. Thanks to the initial lump sum, the consistent monthly contributions, and the power of compounding, working on both, you potentially reach your 100k goal much sooner than relying on the lump sum alone. And it's all tax free in your ISA. This enhanced journey highlights how regular contributions can make ambitious goals more attainable and potentially faster. So the journey from 10k to 100k tax free isn't all about the secret formula. It's about combining time, decades, not years. 2, compounding, letting your returns generate more returns. Appropriate investments, accepting the necessary risk for potential growth while diversifying. Discipline, sticking to your plan, especially during tough times. The right account, using a stocks and share ISA to keep it all tax free. And finally, hitting like and subscribe onto this channel. It's achievable in theory, but requires long term mindset and emotional intelligence. Can £10,000 become £100,000 tax free in the UK? Yes. Mechanisms exist through long term investing, compounding, and the stocks and shares ISA. Adding regular contributions on top of this initial sum can significantly accelerate this journey or lead to much larger final pot. However, it still demands significant time, requires taking on investment risk, and needs unwavering discipline and consistency. There are absolutely no guarantees. Don't focus on the exact number in the title. Focus on the underlying principles, invest for the long term, understand compounding, contribute regularly if you can, use tax wrappers like the ISA wisely, manage risk through diversification, and be patient. That's the real path to building wealth. If you've got any tips you use to grow money faster, let us know in the comments below.